The year was 1087. In the Duchy of Normandy, France, the mighty William the Conqueror, King of England and Duke of Normandy, took his final breath. He was the man who had crossed the English Channel, defeated Harold at the Battle of Hastings, and forever changed the destiny of a nation. He had ruled with fire, iron, and unshakable authority, but in death, his power vanished. His story was about to end, not in glory, but in horror. When William's body was brought back to Caen for burial, it was already in poor condition. His final illness had left him swollen, bloated, and disfigured. The hot summer heat only made things worse. Even as preparations were made, priests struggled to mask the stench with incense. Still, the funeral was planned to be grand. The Abbey of St. Stephen, a church William himself had built, was filled with nobles, priests, and citizens eager to witness the farewell of their conqueror king. The air was thick with solemn chants, the flicker of candles, and the echo of footsteps on stone. It should have been a moment of reverence, but beneath the surface, unease lingered. The time came to place William into his stone coffin, and that's when the nightmare began. The coffin was too small. The attendants tried to fit the body in gently at first, but William's corpse had grown grotesque, his abdomen swollen tight like an overfilled wineskin. The priests urged them to continue, to finish the ritual. So the attendants pressed harder. They pushed with all their strength, trying to force the king into the narrow space. And then, a sound echoed through the abbey. The king's body burst. The silence of the church shattered in an instant. A rush of putrid gas exploded outward, filling the air with a stench so foul, so unbearable that panic broke out. People gagged, some screamed, others ran out of the abbey, covering their noses, fighting nausea. The solemn farewell had transformed into chaos. What was meant to be a moment of royal dignity turned into a spectacle of horror. Imagine it. The man who had once terrified nations, who had commanded armies and reshaped kingdoms, now reduced to a bloated corpse that humiliated him in death. Instead of prayers and blessings, his memory was marked by gasps of disgust, by the unforgettable odor that drove mourners into the streets. The king who had risen so high fell lower than anyone could have imagined. But history does not end with laughter at his downfall. There is a darker, deeper truth hidden here. William had built castles to protect his reign. He had raised armies to secure his legacy. He had carved his name into history with blood and stone. Yet none of it mattered in that final moment. No crown could save him. No title could shield him. No power on earth could stop his body from betraying him. It was as if death itself wanted to remind the world, no matter how mighty you are, no matter how many battles you win, you are still human, and every human ends the same. William the Conqueror, the man who once stood taller than kings and warriors alike, was remembered not only as the first Norman king of England, but also as the king who exploded at his own funeral. This is the untold dark history, a story of power, of mortality, and of how even emperors cannot escape the final, brutal truth of death.